Sobriety came.
This sober vet.
Don't live, don't live, don't live.
Our mission is to normalize sobriety with veterans who are using and abusing substances in a harmful, self-medicating way. All right, welcome, world. Here we are, this Sober Vet, episode 21. Woo. To some, I'm known as Specialist York. To those same people, my co-host is known as Sergeant Thomas. Together, we are bringing a conversation to the world that I've never heard. We are on a mission to normalize sobriety with veterans who are using and abusing substances in a harmful, self-medicating way. With now Dr. Teresa Thomas, a certified therapist, and myself, your average Joe, we bring veteran stories of sobriety triumphs in hope to inspire other struggling veterans to give sobriety a shot. So, Dr. T, I would like to start this episode with a pregunta.
Okay, what do you got for me, Joe?
So, what made you want to be a therapist?
I tell you what, it honestly started in high school many years ago. I took a course in psychology in high school and then sociology, and I was like, a light bulb went off. I was like, oh, this is so fascinating.
Nice.
I think this is something I want to study. And so that stuck with me for a long period of time. And so from there is when I decided that's kind of like what I want to do with my life, is to help others to kind of get into the brain a little bit and understand why we do what we do, how we do it, and be able to help folks in that way.
Awesome. That's a beautiful thing, and you're great at it, and we're so lucky to have you here. So thank you for everything you do.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So today we're going to jump right in. We have a Air Force veteran, Mr. John Shea. How are you doing, John? Welcome to the show.
Very good. Thank you. Very good, sir.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. And we're actually going to jump right in. If you don't mind just telling us how you got into the Air Force and why you chose that branch.
Definitely grew up. I grew up in a pretty much horrible childhood. It was rough. It was like, they probably didn't do the best they could, but it was like jumping around Queens. Both my parents, alcoholic addicts. School district to school district, basement apartment to basement apartment. We eventually moved out to Long Island, and like it was supposed to be, oh, it's great. We finally won school district. Yeah, I made some friends. I made the wrong friends because I just wanted to fit in. Like I just wanted to fit in. I just wanted to be cool. Like, and these people, these guys, it is what it is. Like, it's I can't really judge, but they, it was a lot of drug dealing. And a lot of, partying, there was a lot of violence and stuff like that. Cause that was cool. Like that was the cool thing to do. And, they started going to prison, and like, I was like, this isn't going to work. Like I'm getting caught up in this, and like, I gotta figure out a way. And my grandfather, he served there for us. So I'm like, and it's best quality of life. No disrespect to you Army grunts.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, we'll take that.
You guys, it's we can always go, every branch has something, crayon eaters, navies, never again volunteer yourself. Coast Guard, though, one thing about the Coast Guard, like they get a lot of gripe, but they're the best bases, good jobs. Like drug interdiction, that'd be a great job.
Okay.
But so it was more like getting out. Like I was like, that was the bailout plan. Like, I was intended to go to college, but I definitely was not a good student at that time. So that didn't work. So I was like, I always wanted to be a cop, like, talking about Irish, like Irish family, cops, nurses. And so I joined the Air Force, and like it was security forces, which is it's pretty much the infantry of the Air Force, but they had multiple jobs, which weapon security, like, law enforcement, like a lot of different aspects.
Nice. Very cool. And then what did you do? What was your job?
I did 2 years of law enforcement, and then I actually did missile security, nuclear missile security, and then ended up as pretty much like a SAR team.
Very cool. So any fun deployments or any cool experiences?
Every experience I would honestly say it was cool. Like people say, I read a book, and it was a Marines book, and he said, people were like, oh, thank you for your service. And his answer was, you were worth it.
Oh,
Like that, like, serving my country, like gave me, like everybody, thank you for your service. Like I volunteered for that, and like of course, there's a lot of hard times, a lot of trauma, a lot of drama.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I feel the good memories definitely outweigh the bad ones. And like, you got to be in it to
Mhm.
win it. I got friends throughout the United States. My best friend I went to his wedding last summer. Like we served like I don't know, numerous years together. He did my mortgage when like it's definitely like a brotherhood. And it's definitely like I could say like
Mhm.
in this time, this day in my life, I have like pretty much well, actually three families. I have a little bit of my real family, which I love and love and cherish, but then I also have the fellowship of sobriety, which AA usually, and then I also have veteran family.
Absolutely.
That's those are my people. Those are the people you can call and they'll answer that phone. Like it's
Yes,
a
that's that support system,
It
right?
is, yep. And you pick up right where you left off. And that to me, honestly, the main thing I like about social media, there's a lot of things I don't like, but I love being able to watch them grow. Like watch my battle
Yes,
buddies have kids and watch their kids go to do sports stuff and really cool things. And like without social media and Facebook, I wouldn't know what was going on in their life. So that is one thing I
exactly.
definitely appreciate.
Yeah,
So
we wouldn't connected, Joe,
right, yeah,
right?
exactly.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
found you in the first place too. Actually, this connection
Right.
too.
Mhm.
So big up social media. So John, what was your drug of choice? And it sounds like we know how you got in, but if you don't mind telling us that story.
High school was definitely like weed, but like it wasn't like it was never. It was like more a social thing. It was never like it's just it wasn't like a go to thing. It was just something you did. Then it was alcohol. There was definitely a little bit of cocaine involved because it was just there because of other friends that were doing it. Like that's it was always my choice to do it, but it was there. But the alcohol was definitely like the social butterfly. Like I remember like
Right.
even going through
Mhm.
basic and like after basic go to check school and like we had club BDU and like it was like like I've heard people right there guys in the last episode like the BX like I remember my dorm room like I had a mixer in there and a foreman grill and like I was like it was like margarita madness on Wednesdays like I'm cooking burgers like it's like I
Hell
had my own
yeah.
little bar going like
Yeah.
yeah it was like going to college not going to class.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. Now, how old were you?
I was 23.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So you're
I went
legally
late.
allowed to buy. Gotcha.
I
Nice.
went to 20. Oh, right now I'm 45. I went in 23 to 29. Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a
Nice.
little late start for
Right.
me, but like, it was great, man. But you always like figured things out. Like, it's definitely, there's a lot of great things. Like, I seen the other day on social media, like everybody's green. Like, it doesn't matter the race, religion, ethnicity. Like, you're one team, man. One team, one fight. And
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
that is like, I just people like, especially, with New York. New York's a rough city, and you got to
Hmm.
learn how to. There's a lot of racism, a lot of, there's a lot of.
Yeah.
I always say like, I'm like, I use sarcastically. I'm not racist. I hate everybody equally.
Right. That's a perfect answer.
And like, I
Yeah.
try not to curse because like my aunt will like listen to this and like, yeah, like you're an asshole. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. Like I'll treat
Right.
you the way you want to be
Uh-huh.
treated. Like you treat me like
Right.
it's common courtesy. It's definitely I'm old school. I was raised
Uh-huh.
by my grandparents most of the time, and like I was
Hmm.
definitely like you open the
Mhm.
door for people. Thank you. If you dirty, you clean it. You take it out. You put it away.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So at what point did you realize that your addictions were kind of out of control and kind of starting to take a turn for the worse?
When I came home. When I came
Mm.
home, it was like, 'cause, like, it was more like it was there's a long story there, but, like, you come home and, like, everybody, like, it's like you got plopped back into the world.
Right.
Like, you were taken out, like, voluntarily,
Yeah.
but when you get put in, like, everybody like, they don't run like you. They don't do things like you or do like, the way you did it or, like and it's just like, you're just, like, odd man out. So, like, what do you do? Like I was like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I just really like just drank. Like, I would like drink. I would literally, I don't know how fast it caught up to me, but that was like, I was definitely self medicating.
Right.
Mhm.
It's like, because I feel like when you said like, go, you want to be a counselor,
Mhm.
a great story I could tell you and a very good blessing I got. I was a Teamster for 20 years and I was able to retire, like pretty much retire. I won't get my pension until I'm 55.
Uh-huh.
But, I wanted to get into because it was catching up to me. It was, like, really, like, pretty much killing me, the hours, like, waking up 3 AM, coming home at 6, Groundhog's Day, and I was able to find it with sobriety, become financially stable, and I thought I wanted to work in recovery, and
Okay.
I got a job. I could call, like, a part of the union that does like the EAS or
Mhm.
EAP.
EAP.
And
Mhm.
he's like, oh, yeah, I got a connection. Hold on, let me make a phone call. And he calls me back. He's like, go call this guy. You got an interview. And it was actually the funny story is it was the place where it was the rehab that I got sober at.
No way. Nice.
And I get an
Oh,
interview there.
wow.
Yeah, I got an interview there. I get the job as like it was pretty much like security, but like a therapy assistant, and like but working there, it was great because like it's hard,
Uh-huh.
but I wanted to, and then I got an itch that I wanted to further it. So I asked around. I said, I was looking for a scholarship to be a certified peer advocate, like a CERPA, it's called in New York.
Uh-huh.
And he said, okay, I got this interview with this dean at Suffolk Community College. The dean is an Army major.
What?
Ah,
I sat down with him, and he's like, why don't you tell me about your life? Tell me about your story. So I started telling him all this stuff. And he's like, he pushes a piece of paper across the desk. He's like, I've been looking for a guy like you. He's like, I want to give you this.
wow. Wow.
It's a scholarship for an associate's degree in addiction studies
What?
to be a certified peer, to be a drug and alcohol counselor.
Outstanding.
Awesome.
Wow. So hold
Wow.
on. That's huge. And
Yes.
congratulations, by the way. But let's back up a little bit. So at what point did you have your like aha moment when you knew you had to stop?
Right.
And then what like how did you stop?
I can tell you the exact time. I don't know how I remember. Like I said, I was running and gunning hard. Like I was drinking. Like it was an everyday. It was like you wake up and have breakfast. You wake up have a drink. It was just constant.
Mm.
Mhm.
And the day of the ending day that I pulled the plug on it was that I was working night shifts. I guess I was a team, so I was a truck driver, and I used to go to the liquor store on the way to work because I'm working night shift. So when you get off in the morning, it's gonna be closed. So priorities. And like I would always have it. I was on the influence. I was on the way to work to drive a tractor trailer. Our tractor trailers in this industry I was in, we were running like 120,000 pounds. That's like it's
Wow.
we're running 40 ton in the trailer. Normal car is probably about 3,000 pounds. So do the ratio.
Yes.
I was on the way to work. The lady was illegally parked and came out. I was illegally on the road, but I we hit each other. I originally like I'll never forget this night. Like I originally like I tried to restart the car. Like I was in the go. I was leaving. I wasn't like I did not like
Mm.
I knew it was bad news bears. I know I'm under the influence. This is not going to work out well. The car does not start. And then I realized like I'm not going anywhere. I said this is it. I got
Mm.
out of the car. I walked over to the sidewalk and wait for the cops to get there. And the officer walks up to me, and like as being a MP, I knew the whole handcuffing the scenario. So I put my hand behind my back. I said palms out, thumbs up, double lock, safety check. That's how you put handcuffs on. He's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, I'm drunk." He's looking at me like
Oh.
he's like, "What's up, man?" He's like looking at. He's confused.
Mhm.
He's like, "Put your hands in front of you." So I put my hand in front of me, handcuffs me there, and put me in the car. And then when he closed the door, then you could smell me.
Mm.
Mm.
But he respected my honesty, and he was very, very cool, very cordial. I was very, because I was, I was upset. I was like, yeah, that was it. Like I seen the light. Like that was the day. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I said, I'm either gonna kill myself, kill somebody else. I'm gonna end up in prison. The
Right.
scenario. So
Mhm.
the ending of this, that if you don't stop.
Never ends well.
And
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
were so good. I still got I never forget that night. Like these guys, like they gave me their dinner from like that their wives cooked them. They kept me with them as long as possible before booking me. When they booked me, they explained to the guy, listen, this guy's a veteran, he's a good guy, like he's easy. They put me in a cell by myself. Gave me an extra milk and a bologna sandwich. That was like my pillow. And I got arraigned, and then as soon as I came home, I just Googled rehab. This place Seafield came up. I called them. They're like, yeah, be at this location tomorrow at 9 a.m. No problem.
Mhm.
Like I said, I was living at my dad's, so I'm like, oh, can you drop me off? Well, he's like, where you going? I'm going to rehab. Really? You need it? I'm like, yeah, I need that. Like, just
Yeah.
it's a very toxic household, but that was the
Mhm.
start. That was the start of and
Wow.
it was, and like, but the cop was so like, he was like, you could have easily got away with this. I said, I didn't want it, man.
Good for
It's
you.
time, man. Yeah.
Doing the right
You
thing.
were ready.
Yeah,
You were ready.
there was no like as soon as that car didn't start, man. I was like, this is it. This is it.
Attention veteran entrepreneurs, we've got a special announcement just for you. Marathon Business Advisory Services is proud to present a unique opportunity, a J-Dog franchise, veteran owned and ready for its next chapter. Whether you're looking to own your first business or grow through acquisition, this could be the perfect fit. And the best part, it's completely confidential, with no cost and no obligation to explore the opportunity. Just reach out to Jay Calandra at j.calandra@marathonbas.com to learn more. Support veteran success. Build your future. Let Marathon guide the way. Now, did you have any like physical withdrawal symptoms or any issues? Because I'm assuming you quit cold turkey that day.
That was I got more to that story than it really was. I got dropped off at 9 a.m. at this location, and like they weren't gonna pick me up. Like, oh, that's on the way. It's on the way. They didn't really end up getting to me. I was at one of their outpatient locations. I don't think they got to me about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So every other hour, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm like, I'm going to the bodega. I'm getting Four Locos. Like I went out
Mhm.
there. When I get out there, I blew a 0.268, I think. So
Ooh,
so they put it in
Ooh.
my stomach. Yeah, it was definitely even that night when I got to DWI that he said I could have easily got away with that, I blew a 0.278. Like that.
damn.
That's pretty close.
Mm.
Like, and like, but that was a normal day for me. I was ready to go to work. Like that's
Right.
how
Yeah.
far it was. Like,
Wow. Ooh.
yeah, they
Mm.
definitely medically assisted detox you. You know, give you some medication. Definitely don't know the names of it at that point, but like it was it was pretty good. It's funny because I made a friend there out of all the people that you were there with. I'll never forget that place. And it was great. Like it was great working there afterwards and seeing people because I thought I was a shit show.
Mhm.
And like there was
Mhm.
other people that was like I had no real experience with opiates or anything like that. And like that was where it was pretty fresh into New York. It was like 2000, I think 2014. But like I seen a guy going through like he was bigger, more tattooed than me, like and he's crying for his mom. Like it's like,
Oh, wow.
that's a whole
Mm.
nother and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is like," but I made a friend. I still talk to him every day.
No way. That's awesome.
Like we text or
Yeah.
call every day. And this is guy, I'm 45, he's 70. And
Wow.
he's going through he's fighting cancer for the second time. Like I call him like
Ah.
he's at chemo, like laughing, like and like knowing we have that bond and like he can it's there's a lot of love and sobriety.
There is, absolutely. Yeah. And you need that person to lean on too. So that's very good. So take me back to like 3 months into sobriety. So how are you feeling mentally? How are you doing habit wise? Like, how was that going?
It's pretty cookie cutter in that because like you're in those 28 days in that facility. Like I still have my notebook. Like I still have my diploma from there, like to graduating. So like I was taking notes. I'm like, writing everything down. This is like I want this, and then it's just like coming home from deployment. Like now you're coming out of that facility, was a safe
Mhm.
location, and now you're
Yeah.
back into the real world. And like they say, like, there's a lot of phrases in the fellowships, and it's like people, places, and things. Or you find out who your
Mhm.
real friends are, and it's like there's people these days that I was hanging out with then, and like they're still doing the same thing. And like it's hard. That's like why I love to go to speak at rehabs because like that's the hardest part is coming home
Gotcha.
and like
Mhm.
having to detach from people and having to convince yourself that they're really not your friend. Like, I've had a funny story. One time I was at work and this guy failed a drug test, and this guy that he knew that, he was still getting high.
Mhm.
And it was like a Friday night, and he's like, Kenny, he says he doesn't want me to come over. I can't believe it. That's effed up. I want to go over there. I said, bro, that's a real friend because he
Yeah.
knows if you go over there, you're gonna get high,
Yeah.
and he
Yep.
doesn't want that for
Mhm.
you. And like
Yep.
that's it's like I said, we're like talking about my friend earlier with you. Like I've had some real friends. Like she was my longest friend, and she got married like a month ago, and I went to the wedding, and I was nervous as hell. Nervous as hell. So I'm sober now. Like, I get 8.5 years. Like the world record sobriety is 24 hours. I don't really like to tell my time.
Mm.
I like that.
So I pull up to the wedding and I'm nervous, man. But I make a phone call. I call my friends and then I call my cousin. I call my friend. You're fine, or you're great. Just stop. It's in your head. It's in your head, man. And I remember walking into that backyard. I'm nervous, man. I'm scanning around. I'm hyper vigilant. I'm looking. I'm looking for her. I'm looking for her. Like I just need to see her. We can, then she can hold my hand and I'll be okay. And she must have seen me first, and she came running, she come over, "Oh, thank you for coming," like, it was like such a weight lifted off her, and I ran into her today, mysteriously, and it was funny because I talked about her at the meeting this morning.
Mhm.
When she looked like she's walking me around, introducing me to her friend, and I remember her saying, like, "Oh, you want a soda?"
That's
Ah,
huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause she knows, and, like,
Right,
but
right.
she doesn't know how important that is, and it's like, I'll never forget, like, because that's love, like, that's a friendship, like, when
Yeah.
they
Absolutely.
ask you, like, "Oh, there's gonna be beer around, are you okay with that?" Like, that as uncomfortable as that sounds in the beginning, that's someone that cares about where you're going,
Yep.
Mhm.
and that's the hard part, is, like, trying to figure out which one's which, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, or, male, female, all of that stuff.
Yeah, because it's easy for someone to go, "Oh, come on, man, you could just have one." That guy's not your
Right.
friend. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Like, even
Right.
helping other people, and, like, I never say to them in the beginning, they're like, "I just wanna learn how to, like, normally drink." Bro, it's not in your brain chemistry, my friend. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
I won't
Right.
tell them
Yeah.
because I don't
Yeah.
wanna push them away and get them nervous, but that's never gonna happen. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like,
Yeah.
my cough medicine's not alcohol, my w even when I was in rehab, like, they had, like, a little general store there, and, like, everybody, it's open for my fear with times, like, just 2 hours, like, every other day or something, and people lined up. They're trying to get mouthwash. 'Cause there's
Mhm.
a
Damn.
but they don't they have the non-alcoholic mouthwash, but some people get to that level, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
My
Yeah.
friend's a CO, and he's at one point, they were putting Kool-Aid in Purell,
Really?
'cause it's got yeah, bro,
Just to flavor it? Wow.
100%,
Yeah.
man.
What are you most proud of in your recovery so far?
Figuring it out. Like, I would say it's like I'm proud of figuring out Jesus Christ. Like, one thing I do, like, I don't care about, like, that other people do care about is I cry. I got my feelings back. When I got sober, I got my emotions back. People
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
like, bro," I'm like, "Bro, biggest thing in, like, in sobriety is, like, you gotta learn that you're scared of things. People are scared of how you're gonna look like, that's one of the strongest thing you can do is, like, cry.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I figured out how to be financially responsible, how to, do the right thing, integrity, I go to church, I'm like my grandfather, like, it's just it's the same world, but I kinda figured it out. Like, with the schooling,
Yeah.
I currently have a 3.7, I believe,
Hell
right now.
yeah.
But in
Sweet.
high school, when I had to
Yes.
get my transcripts from high school, I graduated with 65. That's just passing.
Mhm.
Now I had a 4.0, but I handed a paper in late. And you can't get mad about initially you get mad. I'm like, you know what you do? Next year, don't hand the paper in late and you won't have a problem. Like, you learn from your problems.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
I was I had one professor last semester, and, like, every homework assignment was a 300-word paper. And I'm like, what the F? What the F? And my aunt,
Uh-huh.
like my mom, she drank herself to death. Like, a lot of
Oh,
people, my
sorry.
aunt, my grandma and grandfather, my aunt and my mom all drank themselves to death.
Mm.
Ah.
So, it's like, so my aunt, they were best friends before they ended up marrying brothers. But she's like my mom, like, she's a rock, like, she's always there, and
Mhm.
she actually came from from a rough childhood herself, and now she actually teaches. She was a nurse, and now she teaches
Mhm.
nursing, so she
Nice.
helps
Okay.
me, like, she teaches me, like, "John, let's do it like this," and by the end of the semester, 'cause every homework assignment was 300 words. By the end of the semester, I can bang out 300-word paper in, like, 15 minutes.
Like a boss. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I used to sarcastic term because I used to get mad at it. I'm like, "Well, like, every time, do at 12 o'clock." But it taught me how to do it, like, 'cause you told me how, and, like, I said, "I can write a 300-word paper now faster than I could slam 2 Four Locos back in the day," like, 'cause that would I used to, I'm like, that's how it is, like, it's
That's
just
a good way of looking at it.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
you gotta turn it, 'cause, like, the answers that the question he'll ask you, like, you can really answer it in, like, 1 sentence or 2 sentences,
Mhm.
but you
Mhm.
want 300 words, so it's like taking, like, a cupcake and, like, turning it into, like, a 7-tier wedding cake. You gotta
Mm.
fluff it up and, like, you
Yep.
gotta,
Yeah.
and you learn
Yeah.
because, like, being in school for this, you can ask my professors, they're always like, "John, calm down, calm down." I'm like, "I'm learning about myself."
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So I'm extremely vocal, constantly raising my hand. I'm like, I constantly, like, not even not always arguing, but, like, giving them my point or how it was for me, and, like,
Mhm.
because you can read a book all day, it doesn't, living it, it's two different
Yes.
stories.
Absolutely. What brings you joy or fulfillment today that alcohol once did.
Paying it forward.
Paying it forward. Yeah.
Because I was definitely raised by my grandparents, not only with their, respect, like getting yelled. I always get yelled at a lot for saying ma'am, but like I go to the gym, I see a lady walking, and she's probably like, a little older, but she's like probably 1,000 feet away. But I'll sit at that door and wait and hold that door. And she's like, she
Yeah.
looks at me and smiles. She's like, thank you. I'm like, that right there is like a thousand
Yeah.
That's a big
dollars. Like,
win.
Yeah.
or, going to a facility where these guys are, new in the box and
Mhm.
telling my story, and for one of them saying thank you for saying that, man, it gives me hope.
Right.
Like that right there is the ultimate high.
Yep. Absolutely.
That is the feeling, like, money doesn't buy happiness. I definitely
Yes.
learned that. I keep it real simple, and like, like they say, kiss, like keep it simple,
Keep
stupid.
it simple, stupid. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, it really is like, I have
Right.
great mentors, I have great sponsor, and it's like
Mhm.
you're not alone. Like I remember at the end I was drinking vodka. First, I Googled it and I thought nobody could smell it.
Oh,
And like I thought I could get away with it. If I had $1 for every time I heard that in the room of AA, I'd have like
right.
a couple $1,000
Right.
because everybody thought the same. It's everything that I
Yeah.
thought made me this like unsolvable, uncurable person.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So I could relate to so many other people every time. Like, and it's like going to meetings. Sometimes you don't want to go. Blah, blah. I never walk out with a smile on my face.
Nice.
You
That's
hear
Good.
something
amazing.
or you help somebody, like, like it was like I went to one on Monday night and I got the cookies, like, it's cookies and coffee. So I get to like 3 cookies, right? And this lady
Uh-huh.
next to me looks at me, she's like, "You're not alone. I ate 3 cookies too." Because I'm
Ah,
like, I'm like, "You watching me eat my cookies, man?" I was trying to hide them
nice.
under the paper towel.
So, John, has being a veteran helped you, besides getting that position? How has being a veteran kind of helped you mentor others or kind of just in your sobriety journey?
Where that really started, like, in the beginning, I've had a lot of injuries. And I've suffered throughout my life, one in, one out of TBIs. My last one was
Mm.
a motorcycle accident. I had to learn how to talk again. Like I
Wow.
was in a coma for 8 days. Like I
Jeez.
kissed
Wow.
that, like, and I used to always like, it was hard coming home from that too. Cause like I'm a stuttering, I'm tattooed up, my nose is running because of the injury. People automatically
Yeah.
look at you on stereotype. He's high, he's a drug addict. So I
Mhm.
like that boxed me in a lot. That definitely affected my sobriety for a little bit. There was a little relapse in
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
But, I found people. I went to I linked up with some other veterans, and this guy's like, "Oh, check out this place." It was up in Saratoga, New York. It's called War Horses. It's equine therapy
Mm.
for veterans. You
Awesome.
go up, you link up with them, they'll send you, you usually gotta get there yourself depending on how far away you are, but they gave me, like, a train ticket, Amtrak'd it up there.
Nice.
You
Mhm.
stay in a hotel, and, like, you're with other veterans, you're eating dinner together, eating lunch together, breakfast together, working with the horses together. And it was so
Yeah.
great. Like, my uncle's a retired mounted cop, like, horses have been my family, I've transported horses,
Yeah.
and I came home, and I was at work one day, and I'm, like, listening to a podcast, and this guy that I mentioned, huge, huge friend of mine, like a brother. He's not more than a friend, he's brother.
Mhm.
He's on the podcast. I hope he doesn't get mad, I don't think he will. His name's Mateus Ferreira. He's a double amputee.
Mhm.
He's actually the first cop in the United States to be double
Oh,
amputee.
wow.
Mm.
But he was talking about this place out in Long Island, it's called, Warrior Ranch. Warrior Ranch Foundation, and it's equine therapy for first responders and veterans and their families. So I email him, like, hey, guys, I emailed him. I'm like, yo, listen, I have some familiarity with that. I have some experience with that. Like, can you hook me up? And I want to help. So he hooked me up with this girl named Juliet. I emailed her, and then like I went out there, and it was like another family, and like
Nice.
helping others is like, or like knowing like everybody was in that same ballpark. Like it was back. It's like being back in the field. Like there's a bunch of different branches. There's cop, there's fireman. Everybody's breaking. There's lots of sarcasm,
Mm.
lots of joking, and like
Mhm.
working with horses is like people have service dogs. I have one, and it's like the same. It's very horses are very similar. They can
Okay.
read you. If you're nervous, they're nervous. If
Mhm.
I could tell you a second story about that, but like, but the people get, it's just like another stereotype because it's 1,000 plus pound animal. It's a big
They're
animal,
massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
but they're it's, you just got to get familiar with them, get comfortable with them, and it's like it just brought me another joy, like, helping people. Like, I was always, the sarcastic time. I said, I'd rather shovel horse shit than go to a bar. Like, that's my Friday night. Like, it was just, you just go out there and just chill and like
Gotcha.
but it gave me, like, an insight to, like, help others, and, like,
Mhm.
it was always a phone call, and volunteering is definitely a good thing, and, like, that gentleman right there was, like, he had some situations, we talked and we bonded, and he brought me back. I remember coming home, I almost became like an atheist. I'm like, "Why'd they have to die? Why can I die? I need to die." Well, that's so and so forth, and I figured out the reason, with sobriety, the reason to live, like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I kissed it away. I almost kissed it away or pushed it away at one point. I went through a divorce and, like, losing my house, losing everything like that. I was sober, but I was very, very depressed.
Hmm.
Mm.
And those veterans and women, the woman out there, Juliet, they saw what I didn't see. And they're like, "Bro, you need to get help, man. You're like, you're losing weight. Like, you look bad." And I went to they sent me to this PTSD wellness camp in, like, Santa Fe, New Mexico, and, like, learned a lot of great qualities about, setting boundaries and, learning, how to kind of take care of yourself and be by yourself and, not get in your own head. And talked about, like, 'cause I've been to the psych ward like 5 times, like, they just because I'm good in
Hmm.
chaos,
Mm.
thrive in chaos. You could spit at me, you could punch me, I won't blink an eye. But you give me, like, a day off, I'm a overthinker. I'm in my own head, like, I'm all over the place. I'm like, "Well, what's going on? Where's Joe? Where's Dr. T? What are they doing?
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
am I being left?" It's crazy, but, like, I learned how to, to function. And people, my friend was like, "Oh," he's like, he had a situation, he called me, "How'd you do it?" And, like, we did had a great bonding conversation. He's like, "Yo, I wanna help you." He's like, "Why don't you come to church with me?"
Mhm.
And, he took me to this non-denominational church called True North in Bohemia, Long Island, and it was great. Like, and, it was so, like, it put the Bible, like, or Jesus, like, into, like, real day
Mhm.
Nice.
society, and, like, it was, and then I started to have faith, and, like, let me tell you about faith, man. Like, I've had situations, like, with the drinking definitely covered up my violent, and, like, Chris, you'd blame it, "Oh, I was drunk," or, you wouldn't remember what you did.
Mhm.
Right.
But I still have those ideas. Like, I'm still, I got to learn to deal with them. I make phone calls. There's actually a fellowship called Violence Anonymous.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I had to learn about that. Yeah, I had to learn about that. I used to use it as sarcastic terms. I'm like, "Ah, I'm one of the
Right.
two VAs, the Veteran Administration of Violence Anonymous." And then for school, I had to go to it. They're like, "Oh, go to a different 12-step program." And I just Googled it. I'm like, "Well, it's really a fellowship." And I went to a Zoom meeting. It was pretty good.
Okay.
But with church, like, I had situations with people, like, it was probably my landlord, and people listen to this that know me will laugh because, like, it was like I would work a double and come home and they're like, "He didn't shovel any of the snow." I'm like, "It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I got to shovel snow to get into the driveway. I want to throw a shovel through his window." And I wake up the next day and I hear, like, zzz, he's stuck. His
Mm.
truck was parked in the other driveway. Now he's stuck.
Right.
As I
Mm.
look I look up to, like, the ceiling. I said, I thank God. 'Cause I didn't have to act like an a-hole.
Uh-huh.
He did it for
Exactly.
me. He
Uh-huh.
he taught him the lesson
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
me,
Uh-huh.
Nice.
and it was like, I'm like, "This is how you do it." Like, you just gotta have faith,
Yeah.
man. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't, like, being an addict, I always had an addict's mentality. I want things, I want it now, I want it my way,
Uh-huh.
I want it right now. And you gotta, learning patience is it's
Patience. Yeah.
you gotta have
Yeah.
yeah, patience is a hard one.
That is tough. That is
It's,
tough.
because it's gonna happen, but it's like you don't know, and, like, especially with the thing, like, talking about, like, who people die, like, I live life on God's terms, and, like, everybody's got expiration date.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's one of the hard things when people pass away or they get hurt. Like, I know it had to happen. It's hard for me because, like, sometimes I won't show, like, I won't, like, people want me to see you crying or, like,
Yeah.
I still feel I feel upset. I care for them. I care. I feel more, harder for their family. 'Cause I don't know, yeah, I didn't add that part into the story about the divorce too. When I tried to commit suicide, like,
Oh, wow.
Mm.
I was out Groundhog's Day, I was miserable, and I remember that my psychiatrist saying, "Oh, be careful with this medication, people have OD'd on it, blah, blah," and I Google, "Oh, if you take," I'm 175 pounds, if you take, 200 milligrams, you could die. I'm like, "Okay, I'll take 800 milligrams. I should be okay. Go to sleep, I'll wake up, be good."
Mm.
I ate them. I ate them all, and, like, it took about 60 to 90 seconds, and I said, "Fuck, this is not the answer, 911." And the first police officer responded was a veteran.
Wow.
And he's like, "Bro, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're gonna go get help."
See, that's God stepping in. That's divine intervention, brother.
That's why, like, I tell I definitely like to speak. I love speaking about my story 'cause I'm like, "Dude, I tried to kill myself. I learned how to I went to the oh, you went to the psych ward? Yeah, how many times you go?" "One." "Ah, that's rookie numbers, man. I've been there 5 times."
Yeah.
I learned how to play dominoes from a Vietnam vet. I'll never forget that the first day that I won, I slammed that domino like Ice Cube on a table. I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, motherfucker." He's like, "Calm
Domino!
down." Yeah. He's like, "Calm down." I'm like, "This is calm." Because dominoes like chess. It's hard.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying these stories of veterans totally rocking it with sobriety? Here at This Sober Vet podcast, we want to keep bringing these warriors' tales of triumphs to you. However, we need your help to make that happen. We're in need of sponsors for This Sober Vet podcast. That's right, now's the time to show your support, advertise your brand, or just make a monetary donation. It's easy. Just go to our website, www.thissobervet.com. To become a sponsor, fill out the form on our contact page. To donate, just click on Support the Mission. Let's keep shining a light for those still in the dark. So, anyone listening right now that had the similar situation where they can't turn their brain off, they're sober now, they're in like the beginning of sobriety, their brain is constantly going and they're like, I can't do this, I need a drink or I need to do whatever again. Can you kind of give them a couple pointers or a couple tools that you use to kind of help get over that or kind of maintain that?
One of the things that people, especially with guys, and it's not, sexual, is asking for help.
Mhm.
Raising your hand, like, "Hey, man, what works for you?" Like, or, go to the, gym. Like, gym's my health and fitness is my new addiction. Like, I'll always be an addict. Like, go to the gym, go to the fellowship. And I tell people, like, if you come home and you go to a meeting, you don't like that meeting, go to another meeting. There's thousands of meetings. You'll find one. It took me a while to find one you like. I love, and as my family, it's just like learning it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to ask for help. Like,
Yeah.
there's no such thing as perfection.
Mhm.
There's nobody's normal. I definitely refuse to be normal if there ever is a normal. Just like it's just got to ask for help, and it's hard because that beginning is definitely hard because you get you get frustrated. You want it now, and then that whole, like you said, that one drink. Oh, I'm just gonna have one. Absolutely not.
Nope.
There's
Yeah.
no, like, I have 3 sisters. My oldest sister, she likes the taste of a glass of wine. Like, I never liked taste. I was definitely I was there for one reason and one reason only. There's
Yep.
never social drinking,
Mhm.
and you can't just have one. Like, and one's not enough, and a thousand's too many. So I was like trying to figure out the easy way. It's just ask for help, man.
Yeah.
And like
Mhm.
don't be embarrassed. Like, you trust me. Like, I try to do my best to make people. I'll embarrass myself. Like, it's okay. Like, I'm crazy. I'm certified by New York State crazy, but it's okay to be crazy. Like,
Yeah.
everybody is like that. Like, don't, like, when you see people smiling, you don't know their story. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
they could be even, they're trying to fake it too. Like, it's
Mhm.
Mhm.
Everyone comes out with their mask on, so to say. We put our mask on. Yeah.
Even like
Yeah.
I've heard people, or in prisons and stuff like that. What's your program? You gotta develop a program.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
gotta keep yourself busy because that, like you said, definitely with alcohol, that's a 20. That's something you get a hold of 24/7,
So
365.
easy.
And it's
Yes.
it's as fast as the gas station. Everybody has it. 7-Eleven, everywhere has it. And it's hard, like, like that, even one, like, it's never gonna be just one. Like, and and relapse is okay. Just I've had people make a phone call. "Oh, I fucked up." Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know what you didn't do? You didn't keep going. You called me. "Let's go
Exactly.
to a meeting." "What are you doing?" "I'll pick you up. I'll meet you at
Exactly.
the diner, and then we'll go to the meeting." And I had to go to I recently had to go to an NA meeting, and, like, I've only been to one of those before in my life, and, like, it was awkward. I was scared,
Mhm.
but I didn't tell them I was scared because 'cause we're scared together. Teamwork makes the dream work, man. One team, one fight. Huh?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's you gotta be in it to win it, man. It's just great, man. Life is great. Life is and it's always gonna have problems. They're a lot easier to deal with sobriety and a clear mind.
Amen. Amen to that. Now
Yes.
back to faith and the role that it took. So it sounds like you got faith a little later on. How do you implement that now to continue your sobriety?
He definitely, it's like weird to say. I don't even care about being weird these days, but like he implemented it into my life. God did it. Like, as crazy as that sounds, he
Mhm.
said, like, there was just little things. It was like, going, like, talking about my friend. I don't see her very often at all.
Yeah.
And I talked about it this morning at the meeting, how hard it was to go to that wedding. I was running errands today. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to this deli." He lives like a half hour away, and the deli is about 10 minutes away from me, maybe 15 minutes. It's still like it's not even like near either one of us. I pull into the deli, I park. I'm walking to the deli. Who walks out of the front door?
Crazy.
Her. I'm like, "I just talked about you, like,
Hmm.
how important you are." Like, she's like, it's another one of those friends. We don't see each other all the time.
Uh-huh.
Rare, but we start where we pick up. It's not like, "Yo, why haven't you called me?" What, because you have lives to live.
Right.
It is what,
Absolutely.
you just gotta, appreciate what you have. He's, like I said, definitely with the violence things like this, there's times where I still thought about doing crazy things and I didn't do them. And I'd wake up the next day and like he did them for me.
Mhm.
And it's like it's definitely a hard time, like, to figure out that you're not in control. You're just on the you're on the flight, you're on the boat, whatever you want to say, car ride, but you just,
Absolutely.
When you're seeing red, because I get this way too, and it was especially early in my sobriety, it was very hard for me to pump the brakes when I would see red. I would immediately react and then regret. What do you do now when as soon as you start to bubble up and you know you're about to blow up, what's a tool to calm down?
make a phone call.
Okay,
Okay.
nice.
Like, call my sponsor, call my, and it's happened. Like I had a situation in my car just recently, and like I'm thinking like either this guy's lying, someone's lying to me. I'm like, I'm ready to go into the shop. Like I spent a lot of money. I'm like angry. I'm really angry. Like I'm like, I call my sponsor, and he's like, bro, he's like, just calm down. So I went in there, I explained myself, and they knew me. I explained myself. Like, I don't like to be like this,
Hmm.
Mhm.
and I stayed calm after because I got my anger out in the phone call. Went in there, talked with them. I still had a little temperament. I kept it calm, and they knew me, so they know it's not like, it's not too much like serious. And it turned out to be a $40 part
Oh
that
wow!
solved the
After
problem.
all that,
And like that's when you know that like that phone call, because if I would have snapped, I would have ruined like two friendships. Like,
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
it's definitely,
Yeah.
yeah, the red thing is like, like one of my other mentors always said, like he said, stop and think.
Stop and think.
Because those reactions, like if
Mhm.
somebody even gives you the, there was one time they used to call me Johnny Bat Boy. Like and I'm not proud of the situation. I was always like, I was a crazy kid, a crazy adult at one point too. And this kid, like, he cut me off, and like I'm behind him, and he's making a right now, and I look over, and it looks like he gave me the finger. I blow through I got cut through a bank parking lot, cut him off. I jump, I grab my bat, I rip him, I open his car door, I rip him out by his head. I'm about to hit him over, like I'm ready, like, he's like,
Boy.
I'm like, you gave me. He's like, no. He's like, he was fixing his glasses. He was
Mm.
fixing his glasses with his hand.
Yeah.
I thought he was giving my finger. I'm like, I'm gonna, I went home. I took the bat out of my car. I'm like, I was like sitting there, like rocking back and forth. Like,
Wow.
I
Yes.
can't do it. This is because that right there, if you go with your reaction,
Mhm.
you're gonna want this is 2025. Like everybody cameras, like you're going to prison, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And listen, I love to read books and I'm always interested in prison and stuff like that. Like you don't want to go there.
No.
That's
Uh-huh.
not a happy place, and, like, and for what? Because somebody cut you off? You don't know what kinda bad day that laugh about it, like, you gotta
Mhm.
it's just like sobriety, you gotta learn to deal with it, because trust me, I have like, if I acted on all the thoughts I've ever had in my life, I'd have, like, 35 life sentences.
Right.
'Cause but you know yeah, oh, man, like, it gets you just so, oh, jeez.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
you can't act on those things, just like, it's like, I remember, I had a bad day. It was like a couple months ago, and I always like I'm pretty good with my money, and I had cash, and I remember laughing at myself because I was like having a really shitty day, and like normally I looked at this money I had like in a box, and I said right now I could probably get like a kilo and like 30 cases of Jameson, but you know what that would do? Nothing. And I sat there and laughed about it because you think about it, but you don't act on it. Like
Right.
you just
Right.
laugh at yourself, like, but
Nice.
this is what sobriety gave me. Like I wouldn't normally I wouldn't I was living, paycheck to paycheck, just because you were just making, you knew exactly how much it cost to get, to ruin your life every day.
So,
Yeah.
John, to wrap things up, if there's someone out there who is still using actively listening to this episode and was like, man, I could relate John on every level, what would you tell him to kind of convince him or her to convince them to take the sobriety leap that you took?
Get in touch with me. DM me. Put up my Instagram on there. Like I love to help, man. Because it's like I would say I can tell him, go to me or like that. But if you get a phone, you get that phone call and you start talking,
Mm-hmm.
and like
Mhm.
you can, when you really realize that you're not alone and that person's on the same level as
Yeah.
you open up, man. You
Right.
start peeling that onion.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so much easier, man. Like I got people, I got good friends, like major case detect, lawyers, and then landscapers. It affects everybody.
Right.
Like people
Yes.
always think, oh, the guy's a drunk. Blah, blah. You don't know what he does for a living. He could have saved your family 2 years. It's just you got to have an open mind. And like I definitely that's definitely like the words I like paying it forward is definitely because someone helped me, and that's what you got to do to keep that to keep that wheel rolling is like it's like a gear and we keep going like I help you, you help me, he helps him, and so on and so forth, and we keep going with this and keep growing those numbers. My name is John Shea, and that's how I became this sober vet.